Could diet alone delay dementia? It's a question that seems almost too hopeful, given the complexity and heartbreak of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. And while no single meal plan or magical berry will grant immunity against cognitive decline, the growing weight of scientific evidence suggests that diet may be one of the most powerful and most underutilized tools we have for protecting the brain. This isn't about calorie counting or cutting carbs. It's about understanding how the foods we eat interact with our neurons, our immune systems, and our stress responses on a cellular level. In the age of rising dementia diagnoses, the concept of functional foods, nutrient-dense items with medicinal effects, is no longer a fringe theory. It may be our best shot at slowing the clock on brain aging. At the center of this conversation is inflammation, a silent, systemic process now recognized as a major driver of neurodegeneration. Chronic low-grade inflammation doesn't just wear down the body. It disrupts communication between brain cells, impairs synaptic plasticity, and accelerates the buildup of toxic proteins like beta-amyloid and tau. That means the same kinds of foods that tame inflammation in the gut or arteries may also be shielding your hippocampus and prefrontal cortex from long-term damage. Take berries, for instance. Blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries are rich in flavonoids, particularly anthocyanins, that have been shown to improve memory and cognitive function in both animal models and older adults. These compounds fight oxidative stress, enhance neuronal signaling, and even support neurogenesis in aging brains. In studies of older adults, higher berry consumption has been linked to slower rates of cognitive decline and improved performance on memory tasks. That's not a supplement, it's dessert. Then there's leafy greens like kale and spinach, packed with vitamin K, lutein, folate, and other antioxidants known to support cognition. A landmark study from Rush University found that people who consumed just one serving of leafy greens per day had brains that functioned 11 years younger than those who rarely ate them. These greens don't just nourish, they appear to preserve. Fatty fish, high in omega-3 fatty acids like DHA and EPA, also play a starring role. Omega-3s are essential components of neuronal membranes and help reduce neuroinflammation while supporting neurotransmitter function. Several long-term observational studies suggest that people who eat fish regularly have lower risks of dementia, and randomized trials have found that omega-3 supplementation can improve memory and executive function, particularly in people with mild cognitive impairment. But beyond these headline-grabbing superfoods, it's often the humble herbs and spices, many of them staples in traditional diets, that quietly deliver big brain benefits. Turmeric, with its star compound curcumin, has shown remarkable neuroprotective effects in lab studies, reducing amyloid plaques and inflammation. Rosemary and sage have compounds that enhance acetylcholine levels and protect neurons under oxidative stress. Even everyday seasonings like cinnamon, clove, and oregano contain polyphenol and essential oils that fight free radicals and support mitochondrial health. These aren't just flavor enhancers. They're biochemically active agents that interact with the brain's defense systems. And all of this feeds into the larger philosophy of dietary patterns like the Mediterranean diet and Mind diet, which combine plant-based foods, healthy fats, whole grains, and moderate fish intake with minimal red meat and processed sugar. These diets aren't just nutritionally sound, they're clinically validated. Longitudinal studies have found that people who follow the Mind diet closely can reduce their risk of Alzheimer's by up to 53%, even if they start later in life. That's not a typo, it's real prevention, at scale, via the grocery store. But functional foods are only one part of the story. Lifestyle matters. Physical exercise, stress management, sleep hygiene, and social engagement all work synergistically with diet to protect the brain. Exercise, for example, boosts BDNF levels, just like blueberries. Sleep clears out metabolic waste products in the brain, including amyloid proteins. Chronic stress, if left unchecked, can flood the brain with cortisol, shrinking the very regions you need to remember names, make decisions, and regulate emotion. So no, diet alone won't guarantee dementia prevention. But it's increasingly clear that diet is not just a supporting character, it's a central part of the plot. The foods you eat can tip the balance between repair and degeneration, between resilience and decline. They feed not only your cells but also your microbiome, your immune system, and your mood, all of which play a role in cognitive health. In a culture obsessed with expensive brain scans, wearable trackers, and cutting-edge medications, it's almost radical to suggest that one of the most powerful interventions may be your plate. But the data is hard to ignore. So yes, maybe the spoon is mightier than we think. And maybe the best prescription for your aging brain is not found in a bottle, but in the vibrant, aromatic, and deeply nourishing rituals of everyday food.